Is all self-help more or less a scam? Nothing more than a feel-good exercise that doesn't really do much? A long time ago, I had a very pivotal experience. I watched a documentary about how they market state lotteries. The marketing director was very, very clear. They are not selling a chance to win millions. Because the chance is so small, it is essentially zero. What they are selling is a couple of days worth of a fantastic fantasy. Sure, anybody can walk down the street and randomly fantasize about finding a hidden sack of money somewhere. But think of what happens when you buy a lottery ticket, a state-sanctioned event. After all, there are people in the news who actually win lotteries. It's an official thing. It really could happen. And the piece of paper costs $1. And yes, there is an actual statistically based, verifiable chance that you actually might win. So when you hold that piece of paper in your hand, it gives you a much more believable fantasy that you might get rich. And that is what the marketing director said, what they sell. That's their model that they use when they create their marketing campaign. They market and promote a piece of paper that costs $1 that gives you 2 or 3 days worth of a fantastic fantasy about your future. A temporary, really, really good feeling about a future fantasy that, based on the laws of probability, almost certainly won't happen. But that 2 days worth of a fantastic fantasy only costs $1. What if self-help is the same thing? You buy a book for $10. You read the book and it gives you this fantastic fantasy of a much better future life. What if that is what we are really buying when we buy self-help books? For only $10, we get to read a future fantasy version of our much better future selves. And while we are reading that, it feels really good. We can temporarily forget about our actual problems and imagine that everything is going to be better. But then we finish the book, we look around, our lives are the same, and we get discouraged. Then we find another book and repeat the same process. Is that really, from a structural standpoint, that much different from people that buy lottery tickets every week or every time the jackpot goes above a certain amount? Does that mean that self-help books are filled with hooey and they are useless to help us make a better life for ourselves? Well, being a former scientist, I know that it helps to look at the data. So let's look at a very common niche within the larger self-help industry, and that is of weight loss. Americans spend $33 billion with a B on weight loss products every single year. But go outside and look around, and what do you see? If you didn't know any better, you might conclude that weight loss is a scam. After all, we spend $33 billion per year on weight loss products, but at the same time, 70.9% of men and 61.9% of women are overweight or obese. This is far more than the global average. Would you conclude, based on this data, that weight loss is a scam? That weight loss doesn't work? Here's another idea to consider. Think of all the people who buy musical instruments or musical learning tools of some kind. How many of those people actually get to high-level playing skills? Do you see a pattern here? If you want to play the piano, you're going to have to do a little bit more than simply read a book on how to play the piano. You're going to have to spend a lot of time actually practicing the piano. If you want to lose weight and get into shape, you're going to have to do a little bit more than simply read a book about weight loss. You're going to have to fundamentally change your eating and exercise habits, not just for a couple of weeks, forever. If you read any kind of self-help book, you're going to have to do more than just read the book. Putting new ideas into your brain isn't going to help. Just like weight loss and learning how to play a new instrument, self-help takes work. It takes dedication. It takes persistence and self-belief. It requires that you do boring things so that one day you'll get non-boring results. Whatever you want to get better at, you need to practice and you need to keep practicing. Consider that's why it only seems that self-help is one big con. It's because reading those books is not enough. You need to slowly shift your daily behavior. You need to practice the things that you want to get better at. You need to create a daily sustainable habit. This is another common problem with self-help, weight loss, or otherwise. We are lazy, we are impatient, and we have short attention spans. We want the results and we want them right the F now. So we hurry up, we try to quickly get those results, we get burned out, and then we quit. Instead, consider another option. Consider starting anything as absolutely as slowly as you can. After all, you are building up a daily habit. Don't think in terms of do X and then get Y. Think in terms of slowly creating daily habits that will help you slowly evolve into the person you want to become. That way you'll always be getting better. Your future will always be brighter. You look back into your past and feel proud of your accomplishments. Just like that turtle said a couple thousand years ago, slow and steady wins the race. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. To learn more, please visit mindpersuasion.com.